welcome to my mid-year book freakout tag of 2025. I look forward to this tag all year long because it's so fun. I love, even though it's not a full year, it's only half the year, I love going back and looking at what I've already read and picking out like favorites and books that made me happy or, cry or whatnot. So that's just so fun. This is my 4th year doing this tag, which is, it feels crazy to think that's been 4 years. And I first found it on Katya's blog, Little Blossoms for Jesus. Alright, so this tag's always kind of long, so I'm going to try to get through it as fast as I can. I already have my blog post up and on Facebook and Instagram, so it's going to be super easy. Unlike last year when I just kind of went with it and didn't have anything prepared. Only read 23 books this year, which compared to years past, that's like not much. Which kind of is good for this, less to choose from, Question 1, best books I've read so far of this year. I have a handful of new favorites. One of the first ones being Eye of the Storm by Karen Heckler. This was just so good and powerful, and it was just really well done. A Night to Remember by Walter Lord. I read that when I did my Titanic reading, and it was just such a good book. Confessions of a Tiny Genius by David A. Wilson, and this was just hilarious. I loved this so much. And then the last one, The Search and Rescue Files by Emily Boyle, which I have a paperback copy the author sent me, being part of the beta reader team. So I love this. This makes me so happy, and it just looks so nice. So this has a proud place on the bookcase, and I need to actually purchase the other books in the series and have them all on the case. A second question, best sequel I've read this year so far. And I was looking back through, I've only read one sequel, like actual book 2, which is, I don't know, kind of weird, I guess. But the only one that I've read, and I enjoyed it, which is a plus, A Dream of Flight by Kate Willis. New release that I haven't read yet, but want to. First thing that I really, really want to read is Rapunzel's Gambit by Mary Meekum. Isn't the cover so pretty? It's part of a 12-book series, All That Glitters, which is a multi-author series. I'm going to read the whole thing, but I absolutely want to read this. There's also To Love a Beast by Karen Whitmire, Of Crystals and Peas by Renee Knight, and she's also the author who did Of Oceans and Pearls, which I did do an ARC video up here in the corner. And I also want to read the entire Garden of Fairy Tales series, which I talked about earlier this year, like in February. Illuminate the Darkness, which is an anthology curated by Writer's Vision. I know I'm missing some. I know I am, but those are the top ones that came to mind that I'm so excited to read. Most anticipated release for the second half of this year. I've only got 2 that came to mind again, and I have pre-ordered them both. Can't wait. One being Sons of Day and Night by Mariposa Ariesto. I think that's how I keep saying her name, and if I'm saying it wrong, I do apologize. I am so excited for this. It's going to be awesome, and I cannot wait. Cool. And I am part of the launch team for that, and I want to say there will be ARC copies. I could be wrong. So I'm very excited to read those and also to share them with you guys. And the second one is On a Midnight Clear by Tracy Peterson, and this is another collection of stories from several authors. It is a Christmas book, and they all take place out like on the western frontier, so I'm really excited for this. Biggest disappointment so far of 25. That would have to be The Raft by S.A. Bowden. I don't have my copy with me. Actually, it's in the car. I keep forgetting to either bring it in, or we were going to take it to Half Price Books and do that, and I keep forgetting. I did a whole video rant up in this corner where I talked about February reads. The book had so much potential to be awesome. It had great survival elements. It would have been so good. However, the main character was such a dislikable person, and it didn't work. Not for me anyway. Other people may love it. That's totally cool. I hope someone else does love this book. But it did not work out for me, which is a shame because I was really excited for this. Biggest surprise of the year so far. First one that comes to mind is The BFG by Roald Dahl, I think. Sorry. I hadn't read much by him at all. I've only read The Witches, and that was several years ago. I read around Halloween, and so I wasn't 100% sure like what to expect. I didn't even know anything about this. I hadn't seen the movie, nothing, but it was a very delightful read and I enjoyed it. And then there's the I Escaped the Saltwater Crocodile by Scott Peters, which was an intense survival. It was super exciting, very fast paced, and I think I read it in one night, and if not, 2 nights, because I had to sleep at some point. So it was really good though. I definitely want to continue the series. New authors so far, a lot of the books that I've read, like I already familiar with the authors and they're already either a favorite or ones that I like. But new ones would have to be David A. Wilson, who did Confessions of a Tiny Genius. That was fun. And then Roald Dahl. I definitely want to check out more of his works for sure. Newest fictional crush / ship of 2025 so far. I absolutely loved Adam and Sadie in Christina Hall's upcoming release, The Years I Lost. Now, I have not yet shared my review. I'm going to do my ARC review and maybe either next week or the week after, so I don't want to get too much into it. But I loved the relationship despite all the chaos and tragedy going on in their lives. Their love for each other was definitely an anchor that held them through all of the tragedy. Newest favorite character, it would have to be, I forgot to say her name, Julia, spelled like Julia, but it has an H instead, from Brothers Divided by Jaden Phillips. I did my ARC review up there in the corner if you want to check it out, and I just love her positive attitude, the presence that she brought through all the any family drama or tension. It was really good. Books that made me cry this year would definitely be Eye of the Storm. So heartfelt and powerful and just, I don't know, very meaningful. It was honestly surprising how much faith and truth and love was packed into such a teeny tiny little book. Books that made me happy this year, definitely The Search and Rescue Files. It was top notch, top tier, and I loved it. Favorite book to movie adaptation I've seen. I scrolled through my history on YouTube, which was a lot, and I came up with 4 book to movie films that I really liked. A Night to Remember, which is based off the book. It was really good. I think that is like the best Titanic movie ever, especially if you're looking into it more from like for research and not just like a fictional story. The Phantom of the Opera, first time ever seeing that, and I got so obsessed with the soundtrack and the movie, gothic old opera house vibe thing. I got so into that. It's kind of not as much like, I don't know, but it's still really good. The music is so awesome. The Never-Ending Story, I watched that a couple times actually, just me and then me and my sister. And I actually do own the book now. There was a sale, an ebook sale, and so I snagged it up. And then Dead Poet Society, which is such a good movie, and I really want to read the book. My favorite bookish post, or for this instance, my favorite book videos that I've posted. I've had so many. I love this channel and I have so much fun filming, reading the books for stuff, and just sharing them with you guys. It's just so much fun. Number 1 was this massive book haul I did. I had my seasonal job, which I'm still at, Burlington, and so I was saving up a massive book haul from buying all these books with this extra spending money, and it was a lot of books. Then directly after that, actually, I had parts 1 and 2 of the Book Nook, which I'm sitting at right now. I liked it. It was so much fun putting this together, and I loved organizing the bookcase and doing all that. It was great. I'm not done with this area. I have boxes and stuff over here from for eBay stuff. However, I do want to still bring my chair over here and set it up. It's just, it hasn't happened yet. It's in storage still, so I do need to do that and get that little side table that I talked about in those videos. So, but it looks great. I'm really happy. And then I really enjoyed Family Staycation, which I think is my longest video I've put on here. It was almost an hour long, it's like 50 minutes. Lots of fun. And I think my last favorite one, I've had fun with all the ARCs too. Those are always a blast. But I just posted a video recently about the King's Daughter Writing Camp, or more commonly called the KDWC, in which I will start sharing a writing log every Saturday about progress with how it's going. And the camp is a virtual camp for Christian ladies to get writing, to meet other Christians, and to encourage each other to write, supporting each other. So it's great, and I'm excited to get going on those. We have come to my favorite part of this tag, which is most beautiful books bought so far. And I like to separate it up into physical books and ebooks. So I'm gonna start with physical books, and I have a few, which I'm very excited. And I got more I gotta get to, but they're kind of heavyish. So this first one, which is actually, I want to say, my most recent read. I bought it at Ollie's, and it is The Amazing Mr. Blunden. Isn't that so pretty? It says it's an enthralling ghost story with a time-traveling twist. So I was already hooked. Beautiful cover, time traveling. I'm ready. And then I have Once Upon a Wardrobe by Patty Callahan. And it's supposed to be about Narnia, but like not Narnia, but when C.S. Lewis was alive and writing the series. So I'm intrigued and I need to read this. Then The Paris Dressmaker by Christy Cambron. And isn't that just so pretty? I love that. And I had to include Rapunzel's Gambit because it's just so beautiful. I love that cover. North Wind by Gary Paulson. I love the color scheme. It's kind of pastelish. It's really pretty. And then the orcas on the back. It's really pretty. This one, which was also kind of recent, A Secret Princess by Margaret Stoll and Melissa De La Cruz. So I think that's really pretty. And it is a mashup with Secret Garden and A Little Princess. And I think something else? No, okay, it's just those two. So I'm really excited for this one. And then to show you the other two, I have to like pick you up and bring you. Anne of Green Gables series here. This one, isn't that so pretty? I love that. And then down here, I have the Little House series. Here's book 1. I love the artwork on the Little House books. However, I was going through that and I found out that I'm missing 2 books. It was not a complete set. I'm missing Farmer Boy and also the first 4 years. I have everything else except those 2. And I was kind of devastated, I'm not gonna lie, because my mom and I finished watching Little House on the Prairie, the 70s TV show, or 70s, 80s, and we're on the last movie now, The Last Farewell, so I'm very excited, and I was like, I can't wait to start reading the books, and then I was looking and it's like, I'm missing 2 of them, so I had to take drastic measures and go to thrift books and online and buy those 2 books. However, I cannot for the life of me find those exact editions. So, the covers are not going to match. It's going to be different. But as long as I have the complete series, at this point, I really don't care. And with this list, I also did include Sons of Day and Night because I did pre-order it. The cover is just so cool. Alright, now for the ebooks. And I went through my Amazon orders, digital ones, and it was a lot. I'm only including ones that I've actually paid for, not any free books that I got. I did add 3 more books from the Hope Ever After series. So first one is A Last Hope, which is a King Thrushbeard retelling, A Wishful Hope, which is an Aladdin retelling, A Charming Hope, a Frog Prince retelling. So I'm really excited to read I think I own almost all the books except for like maybe 2 or 3. So I'm really wanting to finish that series. It's gonna be good. Then out of the Cornerstone series, I did snag up A Noble Protector, which is a Wild Swans retelling. Part of the Christmas Chronicle series, The Midnight Blizzard, The Silent Night, and The Hidden Gift. By Hannah Foster, I did get her new book from last Christmas, I think, and that is Married Before Christmas. Winter of the Wandering Wind, which try to say that 5 times fast, and it is a Flying Dutchman retelling. How to Train Your Dragon, the first book, there was a sale for 99 cents, and I automatically snagged it up. I've never read these, and I've only seen the movie, the cartoons, a couple times. Not sure if I'm going to see the new live action. I don't know. I'm really sick of live actions, to be completely honest, and they're no. I am intrigued to read the books. The Treasure of the Lost Mind, which is book 1 in the Wright Cousins adventure series. And then also part of the All That Glitter series, which was the same as Rapunzel's Gambit. Sirene's Treasure, which is a Little Mermaid retelling. Like I mentioned earlier, The Neverending Story. Tomorrow's First Light by Naomi Rawlings. Last question, guys. Okay, books I need to read by the end of this year. So many. However, I only have a few picked out. I Capture the Castle. We're going to finish that book. And I also currently started the Railway Children. I'm going to be finishing that. And then the Hope Ever After series. Like I said, I really need to get that series done. Rapunzel's Gambit, and I absolutely want to read the Little House series. That'll complete the tag. I'm leaving this tag open if you have a book channel, blog, whatever, and you have read some books this year and want to do it, by all means, go for it. And I hope you have lots of fun with this. That was long. That was very long. But it was fun. These tags are always fun. So like I said, I will have, the next video will be an ARC one, and it'll be for The Years I Lost. It'll either be next week or the week after, not 100% sure. Tomorrow, actually, I will have my video, my first writing log, so very stoked for that. And I totally forgot to mention at the beginning of this, now July, I was going to save this video. I was going to do my June reads, but I got to thinking, you know, let's just skip June reads and do the mid-year book tag instead, because otherwise I would have another month where I have like 3 videos, and then we've also added in the writing logs, so it's a lot. And as much as I love adding to this channel, I do not want to burn myself out because I have a full plate as it is, and I've already shared the mid-year book freakout tag everywhere else, so it's high time I get it on here too. So I hope you enjoyed this and you found some new book racks. Let me know, have you read any of the books that I've mentioned, or do you want to read them? So thank you for watching. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Don't forget to give this a thumbs up if you did enjoy this video, and subscribe for more notifications. So until next time, happy reading.